My name is Jean-Charles Douaneau. I'm leading the CMS solutions in the Wi-Fi domain. So I'm going to run through the demo that we have here at Mobile World Congress in this presentation. So basically, what happens in our industry today is that Wi-Fi is of major importance for telecommunications service providers. Last year at the same show, the telecom service providers were told by the industry that Wi-Fi was a nice technology that could replace 4G networks. And at that time, we were really shy about it, and we thought it was a mistake to position Wi-Fi this way. It's much more complementary. And the reason why it's complementary is that customers really do like getting to Wi-Fi access for some specific applications when they get to their business environment, when they want to enjoy in a given venue interactive content or video content. And that is something that typically they do in a different environment than in the cellular, fully mobile environment. And so what happens today at the show this year is that customers get back to reality about Wi-Fi, take into account the fact that Wi-Fi is important for the entire industry, but look at it from a more realistic point of view and try to focus on the customer experience and how we can improve it. And the portfolio of solutions that we are demonstrating this year at the show really focuses on that. It is built around five solutions. They are roaming platforms so that Wi-Fi service providers can get onto the platform of others and sell their services anyways. The second is seamless authentication. This is about authenticating customers with their SIM card credentials. No need for them to get into a captive portal, get ID and passwords, and then log on. And when they get disconnected, they have to log on again, keying in the same things. With that seamless authentication, you just come authenticated with your SIM card stuff. The first solution is called Analyze and Act. This is a BVI solution leveraging big data to actually manage the customers on Wi-Fi networks. Then we have the real offload solution, the one that was really very much debated in the Mobile World Congress last year, where we handle traffic back into the Wi-Fi network and no longer on the cellular network. And the final one is a fancy one. This is about location analytics and how we use that location information to actually monetize information about customers. So at the show, we have decided to zoom on two of these five, which are the seamless authentication one on one hand and the location analytics on the other hand. We've built videos that are going to be available on our SharePoints internally for sales to use for customer engagements that illustrate the convenience of these solutions. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to dig into each of them separately and run through the value propositions and the products which are attached to them. So this diagram represents our reference architecture for the 5 use cases I've described before. There are lots of blue boxes in there. The blue boxes are boxes that are HP technology, HP IP. The gray boxes are boxes which are provided by partners of ours that we have performed interoperability testing with and integrated our IP with. For seamless authentication, we basically use the bottom of the slide, the components which are below there, to implement a solution that we call Wi-Fi AAA. That solution handles the SIM card credentials that are collected from the devices on the Wi-Fi access and then funnels that through to a AAA function that checks whether this information that was collected from the devices is correct versus the information that resides within the cellular domain in the HLR. And that solution is built out of 2 HP CMS products. The first product is an HP CMS product called DEG, that stands for Device Entertainment Gateway. And that Device Entertainment Gateway basically acts as a proxy for authorization requests from the devices. That Device Entertainment Gateway is built on top of a product which is called EIUM. on top of which we have built an extension for accounting. And so thanks to that extension, we have a full AAA feature onto Device Entertainment Gateway. But then IUM doesn't bring an SS7 leg to be able to retrieve vectors from HLRs, and that's what we do with the Wi-Fi Authentication Gateway. That gateway is a SS7 TCAP gateway, a mapped gateway which retrieves vectors from the HLR side, hands those vectors over to DEG, in which the authentication and the resolution of authentication is performed. When the resolution of authentication is performed, then the customers can get access to the Wi-Fi network and the Wi-Fi capabilities. Obviously, those SIM card credentials have to be collected from the Wi-Fi access points. We have two options for doing that. Our preferred option is to obviously deploy HP technology on the access point side with access points which will be compatible with Hotspot 2.0. That standard is now supported within the firmware of our access point technologies. And so with that firmware, the access points are actually publishing out the information about the policies applied to a given Wi-Fi network so that customers can actually get to connect through them using the policies that service providers implement. We have another solution which is currently under development for the access points which are not HP networking access points. That happens sometimes. And this is an ANDSF solution. We have this both on the server and client side. The client side is ready. The server side we're working on at the moment as an extension of our PCRF function. Basically, that server handles the policies if the access network is not able to broadcast them. So that's for seamless authentication. We have some nice customer wins on this solution, either for AAA function or for the Wi-Fi authentication gateway or for the combo of both. At the moment, our pipeline is growing with this solution. This is really getting traction in the field in CMS. Now I'm going to move on to the second solution that we have decided to focus on, which is our location analytics information. We're using it in a special context here, which is called Smart Shopper. It is for retail vertical consumption, but we could apply that same technologies to different use cases. For example, we could apply it to service providers that want to enhance the experience of the customers of them that goes into their shops, into their own retailer boutiques. So basically, what is location analytics? It's about collecting location information from a Wi-Fi network about where the devices are. In HP Labs, we have developed a special technology called Cupid, which is extremely performing on that on two fronts. First, it allows resolution of location information with a pretty high level of accuracy. We're talking about 1 meter of an accuracy there, which is extremely competitive in business. But then the second point is that we can do that without densifying the Wi-Fi access network. The competition is actually can provide the same level of accuracy, but needs to put lots of Wi-Fi access points across the environment where location has to be monitored. It's not our case. We can stay with the traditional engineering on the Wi-Fi access side. Thanks to that technology, which is currently being embedded in our Wi-Fi access points, Wi-Fi controllers, we have the capability to locate a device which is Wi-Fi enabled throughout a place where the coverage has been rolled out. It can be a retail shop or it can be a telco shop. Then on top of that, we have built a location server where this information is actually positioned on the map of the shop. By doing that, we're able to track where the customers are at every single moment of their retail shop experience. So we're literally able on the map to figure out where they are on a real-time basis. That information is then made available into our big data engine for profiling that CMS is built on top of Vertica and Autonomy, which is called SPS. And then we can expose that information for partners of the telcos through our API management technology that as well has been built by CMS. The result of all that is that we can enable new business cases for the retailers. We can enable them to track what the customers are doing within the retailer environments. We can know the time that they spend on specific areas of the shops and hence define what are their areas of interest. And if we have built a way to actually collect their preferences beforehand, we can match how those preferences and intentions of spend match with what they actually have been doing. We can as well put within the retailer environment signs using a software of ours which is called Aurasma that are dedicated to places where the customers can interact with fancy content, video content, can retrieve coupons or promotions about a given object that is sold within the retailer shop. So all of that is a solution that we are packaging at the moment. It embeds only HP technology. It's pretty disruptive because it provides lots of great ways for retailers to monetize the location information. What we are showing here today is a nice video that illustrates that concept. We're showing as well the client that we have built to enable that experience, and that client is embedding the way to put and promote offers and coupons for the customers that get into a shop. And then it is as well embedding an area where you can put your shopping list, and then we can match whether transactions have been happening in front of that shopping list and provide that information back into the profiles of the customers that went through the shopping experience. This is extremely compelling. It's been pretty successful for us here at the show. We had on both sides lots of interest from customers of all sorts, telcos as well non-telcos that were looking into this. We had theme park owners, we have retailers themselves, and we have on the seamless access pure Wi-Fi players as well as telco that wanted to go into Wi-Fi. That's a summary of what we've been presenting at the show today. On Tuesday was the busy day at the show, and I had customer coming and asking, can you really do all that on the Hotspot 2.0 part? Because the firmware deployment of the Hotspot 2.0 devices has happened pretty recently, and so consequently they were checking whether this was real. Unfortunately, we had access points on the booth where we have that firmware loaded, and so we could demonstrate that to them. We had as well challenging questions about the opt-in options for the retailer enablement solution that we have called Smart Shopper. And this is funny because this is a topic that comes across in every discussion when you are talking with European customers. They are literally freaking out about whether the customers are going to opt in. I remember discussions with two service providers and one retailer which are Spanish here, and they said, how are you going to make that solution available to you, to our customers, and how are they going to say, yes, I accept to be monitored in the shops? And my answer was simple. We're not going to be able to force them into doing that, but we can incent them into doing that. So typically, we want to build an application that runs on a mobile device that is fancy enough for them to be attracted in using it on the first hand. And then if we tell them that thanks to using that application, they can get offers and coupons, which are going to be promotions for them, this is interest. If they can use the application with all the credentials of their loyalty plans for the shop, it's as well very interesting to them. And so for us, the opt-in really isn't a question. We want to build something with retailers and service providers that is appealing enough for the customers to be attracted in using it, and the consequence is that when they download the application and start use it, by default, this is opt-in, and so we solve the problem. We had this question coming pretty often yesterday, because I had many discussions with a business service providers that wanted to bring along retailers and engage with us on that.